1, and we begin. All right, so here you see this ESF. This is basically what I went over on Twitter, so no need for me to elaborate. You have the levels and what to look at, so what to look for to confirm up or down. Right now, we're just trading in a range. Unless we break 2,800 and we just fade and hit 2,753. Always been an option. But I want to focus on the regular names, individual names, as tomorrow is not a same-day expiry, so I want to focus on NTES. NTES is a core play of ours. We have the 250s. We have the 255s, 257.50s. I know some of you probably got 260s as well, which is awesome. And next week's 270s. So we have time on this play. What stood out to me, and I've been tweeting this for a long time, as you guys already know. I've been tweeting in regards to China plays are going to be in. For what reasons? Probably for the wrong reasons. Who knows? But basically, NTES was going to be the top play for some reason. And so far, from when we started going long, which was around 209, we're now trading at 262. So that's a good stretch and a good extension. Same here. Let me actually get my arrows in place. The purple, because I like the purple. So here, bottom of the channel. I remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but I did a back testing on a move. I think it was this move here. It was these moves. If you bought, I forgot what calls it was. It was 280 calls. I think that's what, no, the 250 calls when the price was trading under 200. If you bought for, I think it was May. They were pretty cheap. And the return on those were like 22,000%. I mean, that's a long way. That's a long way. And basically, this happened. It topped out at red bar. And we thought it was coming back down to gray bar, but it actually is trading in the channel. So this week, I was basically giving my input on where I see it headed. The major level to break currently is this level here. Going across the board, 270, 270.61. Price gets above that, we extend a little bit higher to our next level, 280, then 289.27. I feel like this is the time it's going to be a little bit different. I feel like NTES is going to be a strong bull into year's end. I'm targeting 300 for year's end. That's been my target since we were trading in the low 200s. That's a 100-point move. And right now, we already cleared at least half of that. And we have another 38 points to go. But max extension, 321. We'll possibly pull back into the new year. And then we'll head out to about 337, 354. I'm going to keep trading this trade as a rollout trade. I'm going to, if I feel like it's a short, I'm going to play weekly shorts, but I'm going to buy monthly calls. You guys seen what I did last Friday. I think it was last Friday. Or no, it was actually Monday. I rolled out from the 250 calls. I sold from 53 cents to $11, the last two, in order to buy 2 calls for 270 at, I think, 2 something. And then today, I told you guys I was going to add more NTES for next week. And my key level to add was 255. It actually broke below that. So I wanted to see it confirm around 252, which it actually did today. So I doubled down. To be honest with you, I wish I picked up 100 contracts. I wish I did. But I'm here to play this in the long run. So I'm in it for a good time, you know, and possibly a long time. But I want you guys to play smart. I tell you guys see me. I'm good at writing out plays and always writing one contract. Some people are probably like, oh, he doesn't have that. He's not selling. He's not buying. But I always post the screenshots because people get real confused. Sometimes I also even, like, I just got my new phone today, as you guys seen. And earlier this week, my alerts were off with either the decimal or the price. And then I was able to confirm by going to my iPad and fixing that, because a lot of people were putting question marks. And I even did a screenshot of my account of that position showing my buy. But yes, this is the setup. Has a lovely cup and handle. A lovely cup and handle. Let me see if I can. I want to do like a. I guess I gotta use a squiggly, but it's better taking a screenshot. But here's the cup and handle. This is the cup and the handle. Breakout is over 2289.27. So what I'm going to be looking at, and when we were trading at around low 200s, I was telling you guys to look at 285s for either September and December. They were pretty cheap. They were actually trading, I think, like $1 something. Pretty cheap. I don't think anybody took it. I didn't take it because I was focusing on earnings, which was amazing. I mean, that played out great, you know. But going into tomorrow, Nettie's looking at 270. Possible if we do pull back. Reference this blue line here in this rising channel. Use this level here. Oops. Sorry about that. Perfect. Targeting upper channel. So going into next week, it's a possibility we see 289.27. So reference last week's 250 calls that we bought for this week expiring. We paid around 50 cents, the low last week. And then it was 90 cents with, it was 90 cents because I had my friend buy it. It was 90 cents. She had paid 95. I just kept adding and doubling down. I added at 55 cents. I got it filled at 53 cents. And then it took off, hit $11. So next week I'm looking at, if we do hit 289, that's putting us 10 points in the money. This week puts us 10 points in the money, almost 20 points in the money for the 250 calls expiring this week. And the 270s next week, if we get to 289.27, possibly we'll hit like we'll hit some resistance at the 270.61. I'm going to take profit there, definitely. Lock some in, reload, and roll out again. I'm going to possibly roll out possibly 3 weeks out, catching any dip that I can and buying it up, but targeting 289.27, and then that's when I'll possibly unload at least 80% of the position. But that's NetEase. Next up, I want to go into NOC. Why I want to go into NOC is because NOC was pretty interesting. It's been strong. This one has been strong. It's done amazing for us thus far. I've been adding. I was adding all day today. Do I see more downside? Definitely. I do see more downside. Possibly blue trend here. I want to see us bounce off that daily 14 SMA. Definitely a gap down is very possible tomorrow for it. But I want to, like, NOC does also what URI and GWW do. That no volume, gap down, and then pops up. It's been working pretty well over that 14 SMA here. So I want to see that same exact thing happen. I want to see that bounce happen off of that 14. And then going into Friday, we're going to possibly have another Friday NOC play, which is going to be awesome. And for the Friday NOC play, I'm looking at the 365s and the 370s again. 370s paid very well last Friday. The main goal is to play it when it is negative 5 points. Today was negative 9 points, but this is not a Friday. This is more of a Wednesday. And it had gap down. Or gaps fill in NOC. NOC can either gap up and then fill that gap. We can see an outside day tomorrow. Possible hammer here to 356. Off at 356. And close above today's high. Whatever today's high was. Let me go over that. Today's high was 367.52. Above 377, it gets extremely bullish. This is basically outside of this ascending trend line. Ascending channel, sorry. And then it comes into a real serious bull case. It has more extension, higher, 473 possibly next year, sometime next year. Depends. But I definitely see this going to 400 by end of the year. And I saw the September 400 calls bought. I think the September 27 400 calls were bought. A sweeper in those. Nice size too. I think it was 1,000 300 contracts at 250 price or something like that. That's NOC going into tomorrow. This is the daily chart, gives you a better visual. Is an H4. Didn't like that. I didn't like the end of day, but I just saw it. There was definitely more buying. I saw some buying happening. I like this chart set up here. I would love a gap down here. This 30 SMA coincides with the daily 14 SMA, so it actually works out. So this is the level you want to see it bounce off. It's a previous breakout level here. See, we had some resistance over here. Let me get my arrow. Resistance, faded, came back up to resistance and broke out and hit a new all-time high. Came back down, targeting. It loves to bounce off this 30 SMA, just like on the day, it likes to bounce off the 14 SMA. Strong support there. But I'm looking for a box to happen. Possibly an upside, hit 367.50, fill this gap. And then who knows what happens Friday. I mean, targeting 375s to 380s for next week. I'm going to keep rolling NOC as well. That's my whole goal. When I'm in profit, you know, you have the option to roll into puts and you have the option to roll into calls. You can sell your calls to buy puts. Keep that in mind. It's a great strategy. You can do it with weeklies and you can do it with bi-weeklies, monthlies, leaps. I did that for leaps for Regeneron. So I rolled my Regeneron into leaps. Well, not leaps, into January 400 calls. Those are currently safe. They're only down, I think, 75 cents, which is fine. Gives us a cheaper entry. And that was a starter, too, for Regeneron. Now I'm going to go to URI. I want to get in that. I want to definitely get into that. I was charting this earlier today. This one's going to be very interesting. Super duper interesting going into tomorrow because remember when that tweet happened and we got in right before we added 111 calls. It shot up to 116. So it did like a 5-point move. I think after hitting 109 or 110 or something like that. What was this? This was 110. Okay. Then it ripped. Then it rejected the 14 SMA. So there's a vacuum coming. I don't know when it's going to come yet. It looks like it's going to be a lot of rejection at the 14 SMA on the 4-hour. Similar to this falling wedge over here. To our left, the big one. Then we had these mini falling wedges. And then we had this one, sort of a wide falling wedge. Maybe they gap us down. And then we have a hammer falling off of that and a close. I want to see us, as long as we get above this purple fib extension, I got to see what coefficient this is here. I think I turned them off. This level is about 107.77. So if price can get back above this, we can retest the 14 SMA, which will come down tomorrow, which will probably trade around 111. Closing in, we got 112 is still good. It's going to be very interesting, to be honest. This is the H4, so I'm going to give you a daily outlook. It looks more clean. I like that. So a push down, possibly to 100. I mean, this would be a perfect play for 130 leaps for January because you're getting like what? From 100 to 120. No, 100 to 110 is a 10% move from 100. So keep that in mind. So a 10% move in a stock for something 3 weeks to 4 weeks out is pretty big. It's pretty good. So any dips, long-term, a good buy, as long as these level holds. So that's URI. We have other plays, but the main focus, I'm going to go over IDX. They had Investors Day today and tomorrow. The action today was a little off to me. Minus 11 points. If it was an update today, that actually would have changed. It would have been 11 points up. Being that we closed at, 281 yesterday? We closed at resistance. I was telling myself and my friend yesterday, I was like, you know what? I should sell this. You know what? I'm going to hold it until tomorrow. I have 20 contracts or 10 contracts. 10 contracts. I had 7. So I added 3 more today. So I have 10 contracts. And I should have just sold all of them. Got to fill at $4.50 for 1.5 for a $1.50 gain on 10 contracts. This is not too bad. Then we bought the dip here into September calls or played the 270s instead. I'm not much of a fan of this, but I'm feeling like this will gap down, form a nice hammer, then come right back up, and possibly end of week touch 280 again. But this is going to be a good lotto play as well, so keep that one in mind as well. Definitely going to be a good lotto. If it gets back over this purple line tomorrow, then we're back in trend. 14 SMA, we're currently trading below that. That is sitting at 275.23. So let's see how we move tomorrow. Legend was the trade I was talking about last night. Well, I was pretty excited. I like this. I like where it's at. It's at a very long-term bottom. The 95s were super cheap. So I got into those at the low of the day. I want to see how they react, but that rejection of the 14 SMA was due to the whole market. There's a vacuum coming. Don't know how long it's going to be until that happens, but I want to buy time. And the thing about Legend is it's only a monthly play. So you have to play the 95s, the 100s, or the 105s. The 105s is basically the 14 SMA. I mean, the 30 SMA on the daily chart. Getting a shot at the weekly. Pretty interesting. Chart is interesting. So not a fan for many, but I love it. I feel like there's a box forming here. This is what got my attention. Either tomorrow or Friday, we're going to see a move possibly to almost 100. If they had 97.50 calls, that would be a good play too. But definitely, I want to see a box here. A nice green close on the week. And then 115 targeting September. I got to see what those are going for. Let me actually check those out. One second. September 20, 115s are about 45 cents. Somebody got in. Been watching these as well. Keep those in mind. I want to see a weekly close above 94.26. I like this. Higher low. Basically, same low as a week before last. Targeting 108.51. Above 108.51, we get back into our channel, which is 120.04. And we're back over the 30 and the 14 SMA. We haven't been over the 30 and 14 SMA in a long time. So this would be good for leaps. If I was to play this with leaps, this would be good for leaps. This is how I determine what's a leap and what's, because this one has a lot of monthly pays. So this is this February leaps. The 120s are pretty cheap. I didn't see that. But February of next year, 120s are trading at a nice discount, actually. The low of those is 1650, which is interesting. The monthly chart. Well, 1529. I'm going to possibly scale into about 5 of those just to be in position. See if I can get in by Friday. And the December 120s would actually be a safe bet. I like the December 120s. Remember, this is a weekly chart. This is a monthly chart. Has a chance. It has a chance. I mean, buying time, playing the time, has some good ranges when it moves. Still need that 14 and to come below the 30 SMA to make it even a better buy. But let's see what happens. ICPT, sorry. I don't know, something about this chart. I love this chart a lot. Not much on anybody's radar but ours. I like to make sure nobody's talking about them. I did this one from a long-term perspective as well. 57.73. This is the monthly. So it's best to play this as a monthly play, just in case any crazy pops happen and so on and so forth. So it's back where it's basically becomes into it starts being a long-term trend here under this, between these two levels, 57.73 and 73. No, what was it? 57.73 and double bar low is 72.73. Nice falling wedge if you want to classify it as that. Has a vacuum to the 14 SMA on the weekly. How long? Give it 3 weeks. That's 75. I mean, spreads are weird, so keep that in mind if it's not for you. But a good pop, if you can get a good fill, play with the spreads, do a lot of bidding, limits, no markets, unless the spread is decent to where it's you don't mind paying for one contract at the ask if you do a market order. But I always do market orders when price is fading. So far we got an inside week. So if we stay inside this week, last week's high was 68. We got 68 calls. If we stay inside this week, I'm looking for next week 68s or 69s. I mean, ES is doing this whatever it wants to do. I'm not really focused on that tonight. I'm just focused on taking CA profit, take profit. And that's what I need you guys to be focused on tomorrow. Whatever you can salvage, salvage. I want you to be basically cash, at least 80% cash by close if you can be. And that is it for now.